Yo's me, your boy, Shonen Boy, here today. I'm here today to talk about the latest episode of One Piece, episode 1131, Kuma's backstory. So let's get straight into this. So, this is when Kuma was 17, and he is now living with Jenny, and he's living in his, parents' church, and he is tending to the elderly. He is the father of the church, and everybody comes to him to do their prayers and everything like that, and he also does his devil fruit. He uses his devil fruit on the elderly to reject their pain, because that's what his devil fruit does. He can reject people's pain from people, the elderly, and a bunch of the old people had their backs like my back is hurting, or my arm is hurting, or something was wrong with them. Something was hurting them, and Kuma was they went to Kuma, and he would reject the pain from them. So that's what Kuma does. All the elderly people come to him. He rejects their pain for them, and then they pray to whatever god that they pray to. I'm pretty sure it's the sun god. Yeah, they pray to the sun god and everything like that. And that's what Kuma does. And all the elderly people don't understand that Kuma isn't. He's doing this out of the kindness of his own heart, but later on we'll see in the episode that he has to take on all the pain on himself, and one of the old people say, "Oh, can you extend this to every single week? He only does this on the weekends, and and they're like, oh, can't you do this every single week?" And Jenny's like, no, we can't do this every week, because they don't know that Kuma's taking on all their pain and their anguish and everything like that, and everyone's pain onto himself. And she knows, but the elderly people in the village don't know. So Jenny puts her foot down and says, no, this is not, we can't do this every week for you. And Kuma, he's so sweet, and he's so he wants to help out people, and be very sweet and humble and everything like that, and he wants to help them out with their injuries and their pain and everything like that, but Jenny's like, no, I'm putting my foot down. You can't keep doing this to yourself, Kuma. This is hurting you. So and Kuma, he's a very sweet and humble guy, and he doesn't really care what happens to him. So and Jenny is 21, and she's a little bit older than Kuma, and they have a very happy life together, I guess you could say. So the town, the village, the elderly, they are having problems with the king. So the king is, trying to gouge the people who are living in his his village, he's trying to gouge them into paying more heavenly tribute to the celestial dragons, because the king of Sorbet really wants to get in the good graces of the celestial dragons. He really wants to get in the good graces of the celestial dragons, and he kisses up to them, and he wants to be a celestial dragon. He's like, I want to be celestial dragon. The king is, and he is basically gouging the village, the elderly people who live in the village, to pay more tribute money to him, so that he can send that money to the celestial dragons, and so that he can get in their good graces. So So that's what's happening to with the king, and later on in the episode we'll find out more about the king and how cruel he is. So the elderly people go away from the church, and they go back home, and they give some food to Kuma and Jenny, and they go home for the day. So and then we see that Kuma, he's in the church, and we see the massive red bubble, and he puts his hands inside of it, and he takes on all the pain and anguish and everything like that the elderly people had, and he puts it all onto himself. and it's very dramatic. Like, honestly, the animation is very dramatic when he takes on this pain, and he is like spurting out blood, and like it's a big, like, it's like an earthquake happening. It's like, whoa, what the fuck? So yeah, and there's it's a big pain bubble that he's taking on, like Zoro did when nothing happened. It's kind of like that, but like but a little bit different. So yeah, so he takes on this big pain bubble, and he's spurting up blood and everything like that. And Jenny's sitting outside the church, crying because he's taking on all this pain and anguish and everything like that onto himself, and she can't do anything about it. He can't help Kuma or anything like that, because Kuma wants to do this for the people of his village. And yeah, so he gets badly injured, and Jenny has to take care of him. So yeah, and Jenny says to Kuma, "Oh, why do you keep doing doing this to yourself? It's going to kill you one day." And Kuma's like, "Oh, I can take it. I'm a big, strong guy. I can take this pain. I just want to see their happy faces, and I want to see them, just be happy. And I don't care if I have to take on all this pain, with the village. I'll take it all on." And Jenny's like, she feels sad and kind of angry with Kuma, because she doesn't want Kuma to get injured all the time whenever he has to like help the villagers with their pain. And she wants Kuma to like kind of stop doing this to himself, but she understands why Kuma has to do this and why Kuma wants to do this. So yeah, so Jenny takes care of Kuma, and Kuma says, "Okay, let's eat. I'm okay now." And they start to have a meal together, which is really sweet. And they say they're going to have like a barbecue or something like that, like a cookout. And and Jenny's really happy about that, and she's like, "Yippee, yay!" So yeah. And Jenny's always into eating food and everything like that. She's always so yeah. And we see Kuma and Jenny they have a very happy life together. And early in the morning, Kuma goes out to grab the paper, and Jenny goes out to follow him, and he comes back inside, and they said, "Oh, let's brew some coffee." And Jenny sees a rainbow, and she thinks to herself, Kuma, like, we should get married. And she turns to Kuma and she says that to Kuma, and she has like love hearts and everything around her, and it looks really sweet. And she says to Kuma, like, we should get married. And Kuma is very shocked and probably very happy that Jenny wants to marry him. But unfortunately, Kuma says no, and he has a reason why he says no. But Jenny, when he says no, Jenny gets really angry and says, "Well, why? Like, I know that you love me, and I know that you, that I would make you happy." And Kuma remembers back to his dad and his mother, where he, when they got captured by the world government was searching for the Buccaneers, the Buccaneer race, and he did not want Jenny to go through that, because he was a Buccaneerian as well. And if like something happened to, if they did get married, and let's say they had a child, and the government found out about that and tried to capture, Kuma like they did with his family back in the day, he didn't want Jenny to go through that. So yeah, so he said, he denied Jenny to get married with her, but he really would have liked to get married to Jenny, but he just couldn't do it in good conscience because of what happened to his family back in the day. So yeah, so I would have liked to see Jenny and Bonnie and Kuma as a family. It would have been really sweet and really touching if we got to see that, but that will never happen, unfortunately. So yeah, so we see that in the paper, they're talking about the Revolutionary Army, and they're talking about Dragon, and we see that Kuma wants to join the Revolutionary Army. He thinks that Dragon is very cool, and that he wants to join the Revolutionary Army, and he wants to fight for the people. And then we see, Kuma's friends come to the church, and they had a big catch of fish, and they're gonna cook it up. Jenny's a bit angry at Kuma because Kuma said no to marrying her. She's a little bit, angry at Kuma for denying her, but she kind of understands where Kuma's coming from, I guess. So even though she's angry, that she couldn't marry Kuma, she kind of understands, I guess you could say. So then we fast forward a little bit. We go to when Kuma was 25, and we see that the Sorbet Kingdom has, the king has cut off the village where all the elderly people live, and because the elderly people can't make as much money, working as they used to because they are old, and and he's been gouging them, for a very long time to give that money to the celestial dragons. But because the elderly people can't work as hard, they can't give the king that very much money. So what happened is that he cut off the the people in the village that are the elderly village, and he basically said, okay, if we cut these people off and make that area a lawless area, and just get rid of them, our village will prosper and we'll have more money to give to the celestial dragons. And then he started to, round up the elderly people and put them to work as like slaves, because he cut off the, the section of the area where the elderly people lived. And now that's a lawless area. He can basically do whatever he wants with that area because he's the king. And he rounded up all of the elderly people to put them into slavery, which is really bad. So So Kuma, goes over to where the village is and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And the royal guards tell Kuma what they're doing and what the new laws are, and and Kuma's like, "How dare you do that to these elderly people, putting them into slavery and everything like that?" And he remembers what happened to him with the celestial dragons and him becoming a slave and everything like that. So he attacks the royal guard, and he attacks them. He does an urge, a shock, and he does all those bubbles, and he destroys them. He basically takes them all out, and he saves the elderly people. And the king, he tells us what he wants to do. He wants to cut off the elderly people, and he wants to keep all of the people that are inside of his kingdom, for all the money for himself, so that he can, give that money to the celestial dragons and everything like that. So then Kuma gets captured by the royal guard. They took him down somehow, and they also took down Jenny and his friends, and they all get locked up in prison, and they are basically and then I don't know how long they stay in prison for. It doesn't really tell us how long they stay in prison for, but it doesn't sound like they stay in prison for too long. Then the Revolutionary Army comes to liberate this kingdom, because they must have heard about what happened happened to the Sorbet Kingdom with the king and what he's been doing and everything like that. And Dragon and Ivankov come to this kingdom to liberate it, because Ivankov knows that Kuma and Jenny are here, and they find out what the king has been doing, so they liberate this area with the Revolutionary Army, and all the townsfolk and everyone from the village is very happy that the king is ousted, from power, and they are saved. So then they go down to the prison, and they unlock the prison, and Jenny and also Kuma join, Ivankov and Dragon. They join him, and they become the Revolutionary Army. They join him. So yeah. They become the commanders of the Revolutionary Army. Ivankov, Dragon, and also Kuma. They are the ones who started the Revolutionary Army. They were the commanders of the Revolutionary Army, and also Jenny as well. So yeah. So this is how the Revolutionary Army started, and everything like that, and their members, and who became commanders and everything like that. And this is how it all sort of like started. So yeah. And then we see, them going around to different kingdoms and liberating them and everything like that. And we see Kuma, Ivankov, and also Jenny. These are the founding members of the Revolutionary Army. So yeah. So then some time goes by, and Kuma he goes off and does stuff for the Revolutionary Army and everything like that, and then he comes back to his kingdom, and he sees all the elderly people and everything like that, and he says hello and everything like that, and Jenny is off on her own mission, and Kuma and her have kind of split up, and they're doing different things. So yeah. So Kuma is in a Soul Bay Kingdom, and he's waiting for Jenny to come back from her mission. But unfortunately, Jenny gets captured by a celestial dragon, and she gets taken to Marijua, and that's like the end of the episode. We get a message from her team that someone captured Jenny, and she's been kidnapped, abducted, and Kuma is very shocked, and that is basically the end of the episode. And yeah. This episode was very good. I would give it a good solid, 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8. I really enjoyed this episode. I like to see the founding of the Revolutionary Army, Kuma and Jenny's life together and everything like that, and getting to see them, grow up and everything like that. It was really cool. And, yeah. Next week's episode is going to be very, heavy, with, what happens to, Jenny. I won't spoil, but, it's going to be a very heavy episode, what's going to happen to, Jenny, and, and with Kuma, and everything like that. I'm going to be doing that episode next week, but it's going to be a very, tear-jerking episode, and I'm a bit scared to watch it, honestly, because I'm going to cry. But anyways, this is your boy, Shonen Boy, signing out. Like, comment, and subscribe. What did you think about this episode? Put your thoughts down below. What do you think about Kuma and Jenny and their relationship and their, life together? What do you think about the Revolutionary Army and how it started, and the founding members, Kuma, Ivankov and Dragon and Jenny? What do you think about that? Put your thoughts down below. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later, and have an awesome day.